Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, like this light right here, the seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I'm Akila Textry in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from 5D as usual, right? Bringing you the news to infuse if you so choose to infuse with this light. Right, so as I say, light, happy new moon in Taurus. As I'm sitting under this new moon that is aligned with the sun. That's why I'm taking in the beams of light. Y'all see the beams of light coming in. And I'm debuting my little pink flower here. It's like, that's why I'm holding the phone up so y'all can see. This rarely blooms. This is a rarity right here. I'm gonna give y'all a closer look. Give y'all a closer look. There he goes. It rarely blooms. This is the first time I'm seeing this plant bloom. And it's blooming pink. It usually has little purple spots on it. I don't know. We see how that's gonna come out, but I'm loving my pink bloom right now under this moonlight. So wishing you all that happy new moon in Taurus, this earth magic we about to talk about right now. So let me get into it, what it entails, what we got going on. There's a lot. The energies are kind of a little bit calmer now with this song and dance. I gotta find the light because you know the light is beaming in. But there's a lot that we have been through. The previous energies, the eclipse, the last full moon in Scorpio, and now as the sun and moon does its little tango, its little dance, it's meeting up. They're aligned right now. They kissing and making up at the new moon. And so there's much more, rather than an opposition, it's more of a agreement. It's a little bit more ease. They're in alignment. The new moon is coming to say, match me, baby, match me, right? Match the sun that was already in, well, actually it would be the sun that's saying match me, because the sun was already in Taurus. So now the moon is coming along to bring her understanding. So in this waning phase, we've been looking at what was there to understand. As the moon brings that understanding, it is our inner world, it is our feminine aspect, also known as the subconscious mind. So we're bringing the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, if you can look at it like that, right? Because the sun represents the will, or the ego, or the conscious mind, depending on how you look at it, the masculine energy. So in this tango, it's now bringing it forward, whatever has struck a chord in this earth magic, that when we had that conjunction right before the full moon, we had that conjunction, Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. So the earth got struck, it got shook, all of that we've spoken about before, and now it's bringing it to an ease. Like, right, we shook up in our emotions, right? Scorpio took us deep into our emotions, but now, as you know, we come full circle. The moon is now meeting us in that earth magic. So what has come up for us? What are the understandings that we gain if we've been actually doing the work? Because this is about those who do the work, right? And so there's a message, of course, that I have that came with it. It's asking us for accountability. It's asking us to look at true perspectives, putting things into perspective, which kind of echoes what the eclipse was saying during the last ecliptic season, when the nodes were in Taurus and Scorpio, and on that axis it was asking us to go deep, south node in Scorpio, to really go deep, to bring it forward, north node in Taurus, in changing our perspectives, and finding true new perspectives in how we value things. What are the things that we value in the earth, in our true wealth? Where do you see your true wealth? In the material things, in relationships, all of these things that Taurus is usually about. Venus being the ruler of this sign, and Venus is in Taurus right now. Did she reach? Yes, she is. Venus is in Taurus. We have a whole stellium going on. So as we dive in, you know, since we got some light here, I'm gonna go ahead and place it here. Excuse that loud pop. I gotta settle me in now so I can use both hands. So with that said, I'm going to get into giving us some more information on just what is this new moon saying. What is it that we want to be doing? And especially for those of us in the 5D, adjusting to the 5D consciousness and expanding our 5D consciousness. I got to be trying to find this light because it gets dark. There we go. Depending on where the light is, how I'm showing up in the light. There's so much that was highlighted to us previously. So this moon is really showing where we need to go deep into the earth as an earth element. There's a stellium. There we go. Thank you, Spirit. That's what I was going to say. There's a stellium because we have a couple of planets here. We have Taurus. We have Venus in Taurus, Jupiter, Uranus, as you guys already know from that earth-shaking conjunction, as well as, I believe, no, Mercury hasn't made it yet, but Mercury's on the way because it was in retrograde. So it's going to be coming through Aries in a minute. And the sun and the moon, of course. So we have all of that happening in the element of earth. More practicality, asking us for the practicality. It might be looking for details. Now is when we can look a little bit more at certain detailed aspects, but not being bound by them, as we would have learned from our last, the last full moon, like not being bound by them. Feeling the need to also look within, take whatever lessons we've got from that earth quaking, shaking, and see where it takes us. So, this reminds me, as I say earth magic, it reminds me of a card that I pulled, which I'm going to show you guys. I haven't done the card reading this session. I've only done one card reading here, but mainly because I don't think you guys like it that much. I'm just being honest and being real. But if more of you would like me to do card readings, like comment, let me know, and I will, do a little bit more, here and there. But this card reading was really insightful as well, as this earth magic was like the first card that I pulled. So it was really highlighting and saying, come on, phone, there we go. It was really highlighting and saying, like, this is where we were coming from, which was really on point because we had just had right before this the conjunction. So it was that earth magic. And as you notice, as you will see, it has, like, you can see this essence coming up from the ground, like this, the loosh that I was speaking about, right? The soil represents our feelings and our emotions. The soil represents the subconscious of the mind, which is the feelings and emotions. So it's almost like the soil got struck, the emotions got struck, right? And then there's the light. There we go. Got a little bit of light there. And the emotions got struck, and then this energy, this loosh, is just like coming up from it. So this is what we were kind of in a little funk about. And now where the moon meets 818, I just saw 818, right? Unification within infinity, or within infinite existence, however you want to look at it, which we are in this infinite existence right now. And the new moon is bringing us back to this earth magic, like saying, hey, this is out of the essence that has come up from these emotions. Now we can settle our emotions, right? Now we know where to put our energy in motion. And now we can, like, be one with the earth. Do a lot of grounding if you can, right? So with that, let me just go right in. I don't want it to go too long. I know the last one went a little bit long. That's what happened when we talk about two different things, which I was talking about the portal as well as processing our soul CPU. So we're going to keep it just about the focus on just the new moon right now, right? So as this new moon comes in alignment, to meet with the sun in Taurus, it brings the understandings of what was gained during the earth magic earthquaking and what was released during its opposition, if we had done any releasing. Remember, it works if you work it. So if you haven't done any releasing, it may not have, it may not feel like you've gained anything. So we have to do the work. It's time to kiss and make up in this sun and moon tango. As I was saying, they like meet me, match me, right? As the dust settles, our emotions come back into alignment with new true perspectives. This is a theme that I was saying of the previous ecliptic season. What we were supposed to get out of that is having true perspectives on what we call worth, what we look at as our true wealth and things like that. In this waning phase of the moon, we were being asked to let go of old narratives, right? To let go of old narratives, to free the heart and remove the stories as the lies, right? These, we don't want to say we liars, but we be lying. We just don't want to call it that, right? So the stories as lies that are holding us back and keeping us in bondage, because that's what's happening, right? So also with that, ultimately, we can be more receptive by listening without personal attachments of the ego, right? Those stories that we have are stories from the ego that wants to protect us. So these energies were asking us to just kind of let go of those old stories, those old narratives, whatever the hurt and the pain is. I'm not saying just get over it like magic right away, but it can feel like earth magic if you work the principles, if you actually take the step to remove the narrative, right? You don't got to remove the thing that the person did, we get it, or the situation, but you want to remove the narrative, because there is a narrative that we are telling ourselves to be justified in keeping up our feelings, or to be justified in walking around overly protective and not allowing the divine forces to support us because we're getting in our own way. So letting go of the narrative to free the heart, right? We need to drop into our heart. We need to be at anahata and unbothered. So when we remove those old narratives, it frees the heart, and it removes those, you know, those old stories and those lies, that those throat chakra blocks that we're having, so that ultimately we can be more receptive. That's what this waning phase one, it was highlighting to us, and the helper card was showing us that, right? You know, just to show you what I'm telling you is something that I was also getting from the cards, right? Like this card was pulled that was showing this is where we presently were and that we need to let it go, right? So that's where I was seeing that we're being asked to let go of the old narratives that has our heart, you know, all tied up. You can see a knot tied around it if you can. The birds got, you know, we all tied up in the heart. So ultimately that's what it was asking us to do, so that we can remove the lies, right? See, I'm just passing it through y'all real quick. The lies and the stories that were being told, right? These are things we had hidden from us, and the stories and lies that we were telling, the tall tales, right? In our throat chakra, blocking up our throat and our expression and how we're being, because these stories are holding us, and we're holding ourselves bound to these stories as if it's true, right? And so we needed that to let go, that's, you know, keeping us in that bondage, so that we can, you know, ultimately have that perfect harmony that we were not having. We're not having the perfect harmony because of these bondages. This is an obstacle that we were having, right? So ultimately we could be more receptive. That was what the helper card, that's why I wanted to pull this out. The helper card was showing us, you see them ears? That means listen. It's a throat chakra card, and it was like, listen, be more receptive, right? So that's what it wanted us to do by listening without personal attachments. Get yourself out of the way. Get your feelings out of the way. That's why that earthquaking had to happen, if we chose to not hold up and dig a deeper hole, right? Because some people, they feel these things and they dig a deeper hole and be like, see, this is why I gotta be like this. No, you're not doing the work if you use those situations as an excuse to dig a deeper hole, right? It's for us to actually listen without the personal attachment of the ego that wants to protect you, and you want to protect something because you have some kind of personal investment and attachment. So we got to depersonalize, right? And then with that, we can take accountability and be responsible, able to respond, response-able, with the harmony of our body and soul, which operates as one, not separate, right? To bring forth all that we are manifesting, whether the good, the bad, or ugly. That's why it's about having responsibility, right? And that's the action step that this waning phase was asking us to do, body and soul. But it came upside down, just like that heart card did, which means that's why I know we were having issues. People were having problems letting go, and people are having problems letting the body and soul be as one. We're separating the body. We're not seeing that the things that are happening in the body are coming from within. It's coming from the soul. Spirit first in all things. And if it's coming from the spirit, it's coming from the soul, because it's coming from the invisible essence first, right? And so this was the action step that was really asking us what to do, right? The reception is like the helping card. It's saying, hey, this is how you could get help in getting through this. And notice that was also a throat chakra card to counteract the telling the lies. The throat chakra card that has us blocked, right? So in order to remove us telling the lies, we got to be receptive. Stop trying to overtalk everything. Stop giving an excuse. I know we don't see it as an excuse, but we're saying, well, that's why I did this, and I had to do this because of that. Those are all excuses, and we have to quiet that mind, quiet that ego that wants to protect, and just listen. Listen to the energies around you. Listen to the people. Be receptive to what you see that was happening to you. And the hard part here, body and soul, is accountability and owning up and having responsibility, right? Because we are being asked to know the part that we play in our own demise, to know the part that we play in our soul's redemption. This is why we gotta look, body and soul, ain't nothing separate that's happening out there in the body that's not happening in the soul. We play a part in that. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but that's what the energies were, showing us. And ultimately, it was letting us know that if we do all of that, we will be in the uncharted waters, which this is like a crown chakra card, and saying basically we'll be able to surrender to the divine and trust the divine. That compass, that map is in the depths, it's in the waters, but we got to trust it. It's in the primordial waters of our soul, but we got to trust it, right? And this is a part of sometimes being in the Taurus season. The Taurus wants practicality, wants to know, the details sometimes. And it's like, no, trust it, right? Trust the map that is already there. But that's doing the work. You're not going to get here if you don't do that work, if you don't become receptive, as well as remembering that the body and soul is one. So you're responsible for all of it. It's not just happening in your body, in your life, world, and affairs without being pressed out of the mind over matter. So we want to take responsibility and go in our soul and see what it is. And the bonus card I got from it was exposed and revealed. One of my favorite cards is a solar plexus card that's asking you to remove the shame. Shame is the block of the solar plexus, and it's saying, hey, take that shot glass of shame. Don't drown in the sorrows of your shame, because that's taking it to another level. But take that shot glass so you could feel it and be like, ooh, no, I got to remove this. I got to reveal this, right? I got to expose this. This needs to be exposed. Expose it to yourself. Most importantly, you don't got to go out there and tell the world, but we really need to have that self-exposure, right? If you have someone that you can tell to have accountability with, even better. You don't got to tell everybody. This is your soul work, but this is what's going to help. This was the bonus card that was pulled out of that. And it's really, I see it also as a beautiful third eye card. As you see, it's an eye. Although it's a solar plexus, it's like exposing that I am, so you can get a clear perspective on who you really are, right? And furthermore, right, and as we do our part to know thyself, this is where we surrender to the divine, and the earth magic that we perform, or you can say preform, right? Because we preform it when we do the work. So the earth magic that we perform shows up. There's no fairy tale magic. Ain't no fairy tales here. Only the perfect outworking of the divine universal laws that we partake in shows our handiwork and presents the magic or the miracle that we bring into manifestation of the earth, which is our body, our life, world, and affairs, however you choose to see it. But know that there's no magic, no, I don't want to say mystical, because the divine is mystical. There's a mystical essence, right? There's a natural mystic always blowing through the air. But it's not fairy tale magic, y'all. It's work that we put in, right? It's through due diligence of this work that we're able to change our perspective of what we value. There it goes again, the echo of change your perspective, change your perspective, change your perspective, right? What we value, which is what the energies are guiding us to do in Taurus. Taurus, which Venus rules, is saying, hey, what's your value, right? And be evolved, be evolved in the peace of knowing our true wealth, in a mind state of abundance that sees no lack, regardless of how things are showing up, right? Our emotions stabilize when we align with these truths. So all of that hiccuping and whatnot, it stabilizes when we align with the truths of knowing that I'm in the mind state of abundance. So there can be no lack. Whatever is showing up that you see that you don't have, that is a perception. That is an illusion. You can have what you say you shall have according to your behaviors, your habits that make your behaviors, that make your character, all of that. You can have what is worth to you. But first we have to redefine our true worth. What's your true wealth? If you have your wealth in having material things, then you may put yourself in a corner of always feeling like lack when you're comparing yourself to what the world is having, right? And being entrenched in the world. But when you change your perspectives, this is especially for my 5D people. When you come off of that wheel and you change your perspectives, you're no longer on their wheel anymore of society's indoctrination, so to speak. You're stepping out of that 3D matrix, and you're stepping into the divine matrix, and you're stepping into knowing abundance. Wherever you're in a mind state of abundance, there's no mind state of lack, right? You're in love-based thoughts and feelings rather than fear-based thoughts and feelings, because a mind state of lack brings fear, and fear tells lies in the dark. So we want to embrace and embody the light, the love that lights the truth at all times, so we can infuse with this light on this light grid and expand our consciousness to the 5D. I know this may be hard for some, but this is how you know, when you're really abiding in 5D, your views change, your perspectives change, right? The relationships that you are fighting for, you learn to just let it go and be at peace. The material things that you think are the wealth for you, those change, and you realize, you know what? I'm happy right where I am. I don't need that big, beautiful house with the white picket fence. My house can be beautiful right where I am. I can turn my house into a home. It's perspective. You're unhappy because you don't have a home. You're living in a house and living in lack. Declutter, clear the house, find the beauty in the home, put the beauty in the home. What do they say? Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty is the perspective that you choose to put in on it, right? And as Venus is representing beauty and it rules this sign, what is your Venus saying, right? And just like what I find funny too is that the sun is, the moon is in a position right now, we can't see the moon because it's in the glare of the sun. And it's the same thing with Venus. It's like the moon and Venus is kind of doing the same little dance with the sun. We can't really see Venus. Venus was like a morning star, and now we can't see Venus while it's in the position that it's in, because it's in the glare of the sun to us. Not that it's directly aligned with the sun, but it's on that side where we can't see it because of the glare of the sun. And it's going to come back maybe around July, August, in about 3 months. It's going to resurface, and we're going to start to see it in the evening as an evening star again. So it's almost like Venus is doing a reset too right now. So why don't we just reset with Venus? Just take a reset while it's in the glare of the sun. While it's bringing it up to, and the sun being the outer world. As the moon is also bringing things to the outer world. It's like let's just reset, change your perspective on what you think, what you think you value in a certain way, and check the value. So before I go, according to the stellium, what I want to show is we have the sun, moon, Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus. Let me check my notes. In Taurus, right? So all of these are in the earth sign. Taurus, another thing that I see that's happening is Taurus is squared right now with Pluto. Pluto is in a square, right? Remember, the square is the quads, right? Those quads, and that's all the fixed signs. So that would be Taurus, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Right now, there's none of our major planets right now that we know of that are in, or major stars, I should say, that are in Leo or Scorpio, right? We just had the moon, full moon in Scorpio, but it's no longer there. It's now meeting us in Taurus. So what's in the square, what's square dancing is Pluto. So Pluto is in the square with the sun, the moon, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, all of them that's in Taurus. And Pluto is, while it's in Aquarius, it's in retrograde. It recently went into retrograde. So we're really at a nice ease right now, where it's like all the revelations that it was, pushing forward since from going direct from January up until this point, it's now like pulling back and like, take a look at it. But listen, it's pulling back, but it's allowing you to still look at what we need to look at. It's not pressing forward. It's not pressing us in this direct movement. It's kind of, the retrograde is like, now look at this, simmer down and take a good look at this, right? So, and that's squared with sun, moon, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, all of that. So it's really giving us a nice little, calming down, like just take a look at it. Take a look at me now. That's what I'm hearing in my head. Like Pluto is saying, now take a look at me now. With your eyes of the sun, your eyes of the moon, your eyes of Venus, your eyes of Jupiter, your eyes of Uranus. Use all of those little tools, those little planets. And now take a look at me. Take a look at the revelations that I've been bringing forth to you, that you've been probably running from, and you don't want to hear it and you don't want to see it, right? And then the other we have a couple of planets in Aries: Mercury, Mars, Chiron, and North Node. And I believe Mars is at 5 degrees. I didn't check to see what degrees Venus was at, and I wanted to check that because 5 is like that balance. I always look out for 5 with Mars and Venus because it's the physical spiritual balance, which is also like the masculine feminine balance. So Mars is at that balance. I'm not really quite sure of Venus, but Mars is kind of, after what it's been through, being checked by Saturn, and then passing through Neptune to kind of amp up the dreams before it pushes into Aquarius. It's in its home sign right now. So passion, taking initiative. We're getting the green light to kind of take initiative in some things, right? And with Chiron in Aries is like, healing those wounds. So take initiative to heal those wounds, right? With North Node also in Aries, meaning we still want to go for our sovereignty, our soul sovereignty. We're still moving forward with that. And of course in Pisces we got Saturn and Neptune. The trine right now is just looking like who's at a trine? Earth, Virgo. We'd have to look at what's in Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, which none of these major planets are in right now. So with that, I share that with us so that we have some kind of understanding on what's going on in this little tango, in this little cha-cha-cha. But it's a beautiful earth magicking experience. So ground. What I would suggest is do some grounding. Take a salt bath, an earth bath. One of the lessons that I got today that I'm going to share with you is, as we're in the throat chakra season, to speak up. Because I was outside and my birds was really, the blue jays was really going in with these 3D lizards. Like, I call the lizards 3D, them big lizards with the curly tail. And the blue jays is the spiritual thoughts, metaphysically representing our spiritual thoughts that are about faith and communication, which is a throat chakra. And they saying we ain't having it. Like, I'm taking y'all up out of here. So I say that to say this. One of the messages is speak your truth, be in your truth, no matter what, no matter who understands you or sees you or do not, right? It's time to step up yourself, your soul self, soul sovereignty within this social dynamic, as I've been talking about, and not bow down or cow down, and do not enable those around you that are siphoning out your energy. And I may do another video going into that, into some more detail, but just to highlight that, since that was the lesson of the day for me, I share that with you. I was ready to be like, let's like, let me clear my throat, like clear your throat, get it out, speak it, and be unapologetically true to you. Turn that up and manifest that with this new moon. Remember that anything that you're manifesting is something that it works better when you remove any resistance that may have been there. When you do the work first before and move things out the way, then you manifest according to your works. It is done according unto thy works. So I share that with you, and I'm going to leave that there. And you guys enjoy. Thank you for those who are subscribing. Before I go, let me say that please remember to like, subscribe, share if you dare. Remember, it helps the algorithms get out to those who are looking for their soul family. And I thank you for those who've been sharing with me, who've been subscribing, and sharing with me in the comments. If you come from like-minded content, thank you again. That comment, I can't remember the name, but thank you for sharing that you are enjoying the content, and I'm enjoying giving it to you, and I will continue to do so. Remember, if you guys want to see more, any of the card readings, comment and let me know, because I kind of hold back on that. It doesn't seem like that's what you want. I'm going to give you what you want, but I also give you what you sometimes don't want to hear, because that's the truth. So with that said, I love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out. Be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one, as always. And right before I go, I just remembered, thank you, Spirit. Cosmos in Me is a class I have coming up for those who are locally in the South Florida area. You can check out, looking up Crystal Vision in Hollywood. You can call them to sign up for the course if you are in the area. If not, it's like a understanding astrology, basic astrology one-on-one course for those who want to learn how to look at your natal chart and things like that. And if you're not in the area, don't worry, because more likely I may be doing an online course, so look out for that. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. Comment also about that, because then I would know to put that here as well. So with that said, I leave that with you. The cosmos in me, ready for it. All right, with that said, peace, love, light. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful night.